can't see at all?
Huh?
You can see, though, right?
I'm legally blind. I can see, barely.
Oh, that's funny.
Seeing these reporters downplaying any kind of foul at MMA, refs hardly taking any points for it, and the sad part of a lot of these morons are former fighters also. 22 fights in the UFC, I never eye poke somebody. I'm starting to think these guys are doing it on purpose. Refs should take more points. At the same time, a lot of these MFs be faking.
Eye gouging, eye poking, is a foul. And if that foul is done with intention, then the fighter that commits the foul gets disqualified if the fight can't continue. In most cases, there's some silly shit in there as well. But it is up to the referee and probably the commission on the side of the octagon there to decide whether it was intentional or not. And it never seems to be fucking intentional. I've had my vision permanently affected by eye pokes. The only way we're going to stop this thing is if the fighters that are committing the foul actually end up getting punished for the foul. That's the only way this is going to stop. It's not a glove issue. It is an issue of culture and the fighters. The person who is poked in the eye is always the pussy, is always the bad guy, is always the loser for not choosing to continue. It's never the person that commits the foul that gets looked at in a negative light. No, they're never punished. No. It's the other pussy that decides that, like, hey, I can't fucking see now, and now I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy for telling the doctors that I can't see because my opponent couldn't close his fist. Like, the eye poke stuff is all on the person who throws the eye poke. All of it. Like, that's easy work. I've shared a list of the guys who have been in the octagon the longest, and none of them have poked somebody in the eye. None of them. If we spent the most time in the octagon throwing punches at opponents at the highest level of the sport, shouldn't there be some eye pokes coming from guys like myself or Frankie or Dos Anjos or Clay or all these other guys? Shouldn't that be the way it goes? The more time you spend doing this, the more eye pokes you have because they're incidental, because they're just part of the sport. It's not a fucking accident. You can control it.
Jose Delgado lost a decision to Nathaniel Wood over the weekend. It was a close fight, though. Could have gone either way. Some had it for Delgado, but it goes to Wood. But Delgado looked amazing in the first round. Striking looked amazing and dangerous. He almost got the knockout. Didn't, but he gets experience going 15 minutes with a veteran like Nathaniel Wood.
Shit, not the result we wanted, but man, I had so much fun there. I love competing. I love fighting with all my heart. I love everything that comes with it. Sometimes it comes with this, but nevertheless, I had a hell of a time in there. Shout out to Nathaniel Wood. Dude's a G. Tough guy. More so than anything, though, about a week and a half ago, I had my mindset on being able to give my family a moment in that cage and that post-fight victory. I didn't get the job done, but regardless of that, I want to be able to give that moment to them. About a week and a half ago, my primo Ricardin passed away in a car accident. It's been weighing heavy on me. And I just want to dedicate this fight to him and his memory. Para ti, primo.
Ikram Alascara picked up a victory over Junyoung Park over the weekend. He says, Hamzat is my brother. Please stop asking me about the rematch. Hamzat knocked him out a few years back outside of the UFC. A rematch isn't even a consideration at the moment. Alascara is not even in the rankings, and Hamzat is the champ. Robeski and Klein picked up fight of the night over the weekend. Well-deserved. Robeski's tough as hell. Took a beating in the first couple rounds, but never stopped marching forward. He won the third round decisively, but it wasn't enough to win the decision. He's been in 3 wars in a row, and all 3 of those fights have won fight of the night against Klein, Chris Duncan, and Miktabek Oralbai. So he's tough as hell, puts on amazing performances, but he's lost an infinite amount of brain cells in the past year. Those 3 fights took place within the span of a year. Some people didn't like Dana White's commentary about Ciryl Gane versus Tom Aspinall. Ciryl had Tom bloodied up. Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. The rematch is very interesting. Some wonder if maybe Dana White doesn't like Tom Aspinall because his dad was recently talking about him moving over to boxing because boxing pays better than the UFC, and talked about him leaving the UFC in a couple fights when his contract is over because boxing is more lucrative for Aspinall. Or maybe Some wonder Dana White's trying to make John Jones look maybe a little better in this situation and not look like a duck not fighting Tom Aspinall. Maybe that sets up Jones versus Pereira at the White House, and that fight looks a little bit better because Jones doesn't look as cowardly by not fighting Aspinall because maybe Aspinall's not as scary and dominant and great as he appeared to be. Sean O'Malley feels bad for Tom Aspinall because he felt that if he got the victory over Gane, he would have been able to fight John Jones at the White House. That fight was never going to happen at the White House or anywhere else. Jones ain't going to fight Aspinall, but he will fight Pereira at the White House. So I don't think Aspinall lost out on that, but unfortunate ending nonetheless. I was thinking that maybe it was going to be a Ciryl Gane decision if the fight continued in that manner. Tom not being able to knock him out, Tom not being able to take him down and getting outpointed on the feet, but it's way too short of a sample size to know for certain how that fight was going to play out. So they got to run it back next year, maybe first quarter 2026. Bo Nickel, what a joke. Most overrated prospect in a long time. To put this clown on the main card at 322 is ridiculous. He's taking on Vieira on the main card at 322 in New York City. Literally a solution for eye pokes, just buy Trevor Whitman's gloves. Anthony Smith never takes a DQ or no contest win. Real men show up and turtle in adversity. They don't quit. I didn't even know Dern fight was a title fight. Should have given her a pink belt with those roses on the side. During that fight, I was just thinking Weili would just smoke those girls so badly, but she's moving up a weight class. If she loses to Valentina, maybe she goes back down. Eye swelling close up from punches different than being finger blasted in both eyes, losing all depth perception. Ridiculous take by Chael Sonnen. First eye poke, automatic point deduction. Second should be DQ. UFC has responsibility to protect fighters from permanent eye damage. Putting Leon and Carlos before Bo Nickel is mad disrespectful. Bo Nickel didn't even want to be on the main card. He said he wanted to be on the prelims, but they put him on the main card. They're just shoving Bo Nickel down people's throats. Bo Nickel's fight with Vieira is the second fight on the main card. The main card is mostly a showcase of the welterweight division. In the main event, it's JDM versus Makhachev for the welterweight title. You also got Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. That's number 2 and 8 in the welterweight division. And also Leon Edwards versus Prates kicks off the main card. That's number 4 and 9 at 170. Jacqueline Amarine lost a decision to Mizuki over the weekend. She says, I had an amazing camp, great weight cut, nothing to complain about. I just have to keep working and getting better. Based on that performance, it looks like her striking needs to get better. Her cardio needs to get better. Her ground game is excellent, but Mizuki had the submission defense to not get tapped out, so she ended up winning a decision. Fights that fighters won after UFC 321. Aspinall versus Gane, both those guys won it. The UFC wants it too, but Dana seems resistant, like it's kind of a pain in the ass to do that fight, but he will do it. Mackenzie Dern talked about having Suarez as her first title defense. Suarez got a title shot not that long ago against Weili, lost it, but now with Weili gone, the division opens up again. Umar against the winner of Merab and Piotr Yan. Merab seems resistant to fight Umar, so maybe he won't if he wins his next title fight in December against Yan. Yan, if he wins, will probably fight Umar. Walter Walker asked to fight Hamdi Abdel Wahab, and Hamdi accepts that fight. Nathaniel Wood wants to fight Patricio Pitbull because he's in the rankings and a relatively big name, but Pitbull probably won't want to fight Wood because he's not in the rankings and relatively not as big a name. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you want to donate, you can via Super Thanks. Until next time, thanks for watching.